Right, so this weekend on Sunday, Dillian White makes his return against Christian Hammer. I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited to see Dillian White back. I am, but I feel like we need to talk about what has to be mentioned, and that's obviously Dillian White. Very recently, just being cleared. From obviously his drug suspension. Well, was he even suspended? God knows. But he was cleared. So apparently he wasn't juiced up. Apparently it was just it was just, but it was a contaminated substance. So he didn't know that he was taking the performance enhancing drug that he took. But let's be real though. How many chances does this guy want? How many chances does he want? That's the thing. He's failed 4 drug tests. That has to be said. So yeah, it's a bit all dodgy. But also, I want to say before we fully break down the fight as well, I feel like what needs to be talked about is the fact that just drug tests in boxing and all of this whole malarkey it's a joke, to be fair. It is, and it's all an absolute shambles. It's a mess. And we know this because obviously with what's been happening, especially that whole Conor Benn situation, exposed a lot. And I'm not going to lie, I feel like this whole Dillian White situation is slightly different, but overall right now I'm talking about the general, drug testing in boxing. Like, Eddie Hearn and Wasserman and all that, they try to, hide Conor Benn's failed drug test and still make the Chris Eubank Jr. fight happen. And so they were just trying to make Conor Benn get away with it and pretend it never happened. How many times is that happening in boxing right now? Like, we don't know because, that's the only one we know about that's been hidden from us. But there could be many that are being hidden from us. And with how they went with clearing Conor Benn as well. How they went with clearing Alicia Baumgartner and Conor Benn. Their 2 situations are an absolute joke, to be fair. Especially the Conor Benn one, the way they've gone about clearing him. It just makes stuff really fishy and dodgy, really, doesn't it? Like thinking, how many promoters are hiding failed drug tests from the fans and the whole boxing world? And, is there money involved in this to try and, make an excuse to be able to clear these fighters from their failed drug tests? Like, for all we know, like White could have knew what he was doing and taking those performance enhancing drugs, and they just paid off to be able to clear him. God knows what's going on with that Conor Benn situation. But he's suddenly allowed to just fight again. God knows what's going on with the Alicia Baumgartner situation. But it's partly like also as well with the whole Dillian White situation. It's like, can the whole thing be trusted? The guy's failed 4 drug tests. Like, how many chances does he expect the fans to give him and, be able to believe it? That's the thing. But it's been dealt with better than the whole Conor Benn and Alicia Baumgartner situation. Dillian White kept quiet through all of it, went through the right people, I guess. So, but you never know. There could have been money involved to get him cleared. That's the thing. You just can't trust it these days. But I guess we have to take what we are. Like, we need to believe what we're being with the information that we're being given, I guess. But again, like, I don't know whether to believe it or not. That's the thing. But I'm excited to see Dillian White back in the ring. I am. And I feel like this Christian Hammer fight's an interesting one for him as well. Obviously, Dillian White's last 2 performances against Tyson Fury, then Jermaine Franklin in his most recent one, the guy's been looking really hesitant. And in neither of those fights against Fury or Franklin, he literally didn't fight with any aggression at all. And it's weird. I feel like I do believe that Dillian White's best days are behind him. And it's a shame because, Dillian White's really good to watch. Like, I do enjoy watching Dillian White. I don't know if I, fully like him as a, just a person anymore, just, with his whole, because of the whole drug test stuff, you just don't know whether to trust it anymore, especially with a guy who's failed 4 drug tests. But anyway, just away from the drug tests and shit now. Anyway, Christian Hammer is an interesting one. He hasn't fought since he fought Joe Joyce. And, big respect to Hammer for taking the fight as well, because he never ducks anyone. He's been in there with the best. He's been in there with Fury. He's been in there with Ortiz. He's been in there with Joyce. He's been there with many more as well. So, massive respect to Christian Hammer for taking this fight. But I don't see Christian Hammer winning it. Could he get success? Yes, it's heavyweight boxing. He's going to be landing some good shots, and he is a hard hitter as well, and he can be quite accurate. We saw it against Joe Joyce, but actually, to be fair, anyone can look an accurate puncher against Joe Joyce. But again, though, Dillian Whyte is not exactly a guy with any amazing head movements or any amazing overall upper body movements. Anyway, though, he's not. What Dillian Whyte's good at is Whyte's good at picking his shots off. He picks his shots off very well, and he always is throwing his punches with some real intention, apart from in his last two fights. But looking at prime Dillian Whyte here, what he's known as an explosive guy who times his shots really well, picks them off well, got a good shot selection as well. He's got a brutal right and left hook. Brutal uppercut as well. Literally every shot that Dillian Whyte throws is brutal. He's in the top 3 hitters in the heavyweight division. It's Wilder, AJ, and Whyte. He's a really, really, really dangerous hitter. But I feel like the one thing which I don't trust about Dillian Whyte is his chin. That's what I don't trust. And, Hammer's a hard hitter, to be fair. He is a hard hitter. He's got some good power. But I personally don't think Hammer's going to be able to keep Dillian Whyte off him. Dillian Whyte does have a nice high guard, to be fair. He does. He does have a good high guard when he is coming forward, to be fair. And he's just such a dangerous puncher who cuts the ring off really well, Dillian Whyte. And he's going to have Hammer in trouble here. But I do think we are going to see ring rust here from Dillian Whyte. Of course we are. He's been out for 16 months. We're going to see ring rust from Dillian Whyte. And I also don't know how great he'll look, especially after these last 2 performances that we saw from him. He's had the whole of last year off. So it's like, how good is this guy going to be? Because he looked shit in his last 2 performances. So how good is he actually going to be coming into this fight? But I also do think that this is a great fight for Dillian Whyte to, build himself back into the swing of things, get himself some more confidence by getting a brutal knockout over, a tough guy in Christian Hammer. I expect Dillian Whyte to start fairly slow. I don't think he'll start too fast. I feel like it would be good for him to try and get a few rounds in here, then possibly stop him rounds 4, 5, 6, something like that. But yeah, I don't really see Whyte losing a round here, and I don't see Hammer. I actually no. I do think Hammer will offer a bit in the earlier rounds. As it goes, he'll gas out. Dillian Whyte will break him down with that jab to the body with some big right and left hands. He'll eventually break him down by cutting the ring off, putting him in bad situations, and Dillian Whyte will eventually get him out of there, in my opinion. Dillian Whyte will get him out of there. Like, Hammer's not as tough as Jermaine Franklin. Hammer's best days are past him now. He's gonna get stopped. He's going to get knocked out, Christian Hammer. Whyte's going to knock him out. I'm going to say, going to go around 5. I do think Whyte will look to get a few rounds in, and I think it's best he does. He's a fight to get him back into the swing of things. And also the good thing about Christian Hammer is that, he's not just going to fall after one big shot. Hammer's going to be in there. He's going to take as much as he can. He's a tough guy to get out of there. So, I think it's a good return fight for Dillian Whyte, where he's going to be able to get a knockout eventually after a few rounds have gone. But I do think it would be good if Dillian Whyte does take his time in this fight and, just get rid of some ring rust. And then hopefully, you never know, we could see Dillian Whyte back on a Saudi card or something. Like, if Whyte can make easy work out of this, we could see him, I don't know, possibly they could get him a slot on the Fury Usyk card if he comes into it. If he comes out of this fight with, no injuries or anything. So, yeah, or the Bivol Bertabiev card we could see Whyte on. Be interested, but no, to be fair, I think Whyte needs to have a really active year this year, especially at this stage of his career and his age. Anyway, going to end this video here. Thanks for watching this video of King. I'll speak to you in a bit. Thanks for watching. Peace out.